Hello and welcome to the short version of Yoga for Everyday Endurance Athletes, less than 15 minutes. Today's focus is going to be doing some sun salutations and some core work along with some opening work for our hips. So welcome. I hope that you get some out of this, especially when you do it 2 or 3 times. So we're going to start in a tabletop position so that my hands are underneath my shoulders, my knees are underneath my hips, and we'll do some bird dogs. So I'm going to extend my left arm forward and my right leg back so that my toes are on the ground, right? And you can stay here, or you can lift your right heel up into the air. And the goal is to have them as far apart as possible. And you can stay here, or you can do some crunches by bringing your forearm to your knee. And then exhale as you come in and inhale out. And we'll do 5 of those on each side, if I can count that high. Good. All right, let's go to the other side. Right arm out, left toes back. Okay, stay here, bring your left heel up. And stay here or do crunches. Tap your bike if it's nearby. Bikes like getting attention when you're not riding them. At least that's what my wife thinks that I believe. And there may be some truth to that. Last one. Okay, good. We'll come into a downward dog. And we'll come into some sun salutations, and we'll do a few of them that go from a high plank to a low plank to a cobra. And you can always skip that part and just meet us in a downward dog. So let's inhale, look to the top of the mat, walk your feet forward on an exhale. Inhale to a half lift, exhale to a forward fold. And now we'll inhale, roll yourself up, bring your arms out wide as you're inhaling, and exhale, just fall forward from your hips in a swan dive back down to a downward dog, or to a forward fold. Inhale to a half lift. Bring your hands to the mat as you exhale into a high plank, into a low plank, and then inhale into a upward facing dog or a cobra, and then exhale back to a down dog. All right, so we'll spend a couple of breaths here. So that routine again is high plank, low plank. So I'm not quite on the ground. It's all an exhale. Couldn't find the word. Then I inhale into a cobra and then exhale back to a downward dog. So let's look at the top of the mat. Inhale, and as we exhale, we'll walk our feet forward. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale all the way down. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, bring your feet back, high to low plank. Inhale into an upward facing dog or a cobra, and then exhale back to downward dog. Inhale, come up on your tiptoes. Exhale, sink back. So these short sessions are meant to be done all year long, or can be done all year long, and can replace especially in-season strength work. Inhale, look to the top of the mat. Exhale as you walk your feet forward. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up. And exhale all the way back down for our last one. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale high to low plank. Inhale to a cobra. Exhale to downward dog. And so these continue the mobility and the strength work that you need during the season, especially without piling on a lot of training stress. So there's still a lot of value in lifting heavy stuff, especially deadlifts, all year. Let's inhale. Bring your right leg up into a three-legged dog. That was my left leg. Let's do the right leg. Bring it forward. Drop your back knee. And we're going to come into a low lunge. So, since I don't have a lot of flexibility and my arms are shorter than my legs, it's a little hard to get my arms around my legs. So sometimes it's just easier to have my hands on my knee. All right, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to inhale. My hips are going to come back. My exhale, my hips are going to roll forward. So I'm going to feel this in my left hip flexors and in my right hamstrings. I don't ever want to force it. I don't ever, want to push my hips really far forward. I just want them to come to the end point. And by end point, I mean the point at which if you kept pushing it, it's going to hurt. And we don't want hurt. Your muscles react to that with kind of a sense of panic. And so they don't do anything. They just yell. And then they get all tightly bunched. And then you make no progress in the stretching part of it. All right, I'm going to flip around. You stay where you are. And I'm flipping around because now we're going to come in to the lizard twist or a dragonfly twist, depending on which part of yoga you're looking at. Bringing my left hand down, and I'm going to have my right hand on my right knee. Now you can leave this here because what we're going to be doing is inhaling, dropping my right shoulder, and exhaling and opening up my right shoulder. So I can push with my right hand against my knee. The other option is to bring your arm up. So I'm inhaling and exhaling. And so I'm still now rolling my hips forward. So this is a great strength work that's happening in terms of my upper body and my core, but it's also still opening up my hips. Good, keep going. Good, all right, bring your hands down. Curl your left toes. Bring your right foot back and we'll come in to a downward dog. And again, inhaling, coming up. Exhaling, bringing my collarbones down a little bit farther. Good. Now I'm going to inhale. Bring my left leg up this time. I make sure I got the right leg coming up. Bring it forward. Drop my right knee. And now come up with my hands on my left knee. There's a lot of options with this. Bringing both hands inside in a lizard, then the lizard twist, then there's different ways of using blocks. But what we're trying to get at is lengthening my right hip flexors now. And so being upright and being able to almost come back into a back arch, back bend is what we're shooting for. There you go. So we're just inhaling and I'm just coming forward. Let's do one more. So I'm just inhaling, and then when I exhale, I'm just letting it come forward, and this, whatever farther it goes. All right, now I'm going to take my right hand, put it on the mat, and I'm going to flip around. Left hand's going to stay on my knee if I choose to, and then I'm going to do the twist. And then inhale and open up. So I'm just pushing against this knee, or bringing my left arm up overhead. So just keep trying to bring your left shoulder up on top of your right, while you bring your hips forward. Good. All right. Bring your hand back down. Bring your foot back. We'll come into a child's pose just for a moment. So your knees are wide. Big toes are together. Sink your butt back towards your heels. Reach your arms forward. The inhale is to come up with your torso. The exhale is to sink back down. Good. All right, let's come up. Well, thank you for joining us in our next version of this less than 15-minute yoga session for everyday endurance athletes to really build strength and stretching during the season, especially when we need to maintain our strength and our joint mobility without adding on a lot of training stress. My name is Paul Worlowski. This is Simple Endurance Coaching. If you have questions, please contact me. Set up a virtual coffee and let's talk about your training or your strength training or your yoga and how all of those things work together. Let's talk soon. Thanks for joining us. Take care.